Hi Sam. I hope you're ready for another exciting word today. We're going to learn
beobachten,
Hi Alex.
Beobachten.
What does that mean?
Great question.
beobachten,
Means to observe or to watch. It's often used when you're looking closely at something. The most common use is in contexts like watching a movie or observing nature. Just be careful, it's not a false friend, but it can seem similar to the English word behold, which has a different meaning.
Interesting. How do we use
Beobachten.
in a sentence?
Good point. First, let's look at the grammar.
beobachten,
Is a regular verb. In the present tense, you would say,
ich beobachte. Du beobachtest.
and.
Sie, es beobachtet.
In the past tense, you can say,
Ich beobachtete.
for,
Präteritum.
and for.
Perfekt.
It's.
Ich habe beobachtet.
An example sentence would be,
Ich beobachte die Vögel im Park.
which means I observe the birds in the park.
So, if I want to tell someone to observe something, I would say,
Beobachte das.
Exactly. That's perfect. You've got it.
where does the word
Beobachten.
come from?
It has an interesting history. The word comes from Middle High German,
Beobachten.
which means to keep an eye on something. The root
Obachten.
is related to observing, and the prefix gives it a sense of completeness or thoroughness.
That's really cool. It's like watching something closely.
Yes, exactly. Now let's break down the word. The prefix often adds a sense of doing something thoroughly. The root
Obachten.
comes from,
Achten.
which means to pay attention to. So, when you put it together,
Beobachten.
means to pay complete attention to something.
That makes sense.
Now, let's look at similar words. For example, with the same prefix, we have,
Behandeln.
which means to treat, and,
Beeinflussen.
which means to influence. With the suffix, there are words like,
Verstehen.
meaning to understand, and,
Erzählen.
meaning to tell. We also have compounds like,
Beobachtung.
which means observation.
Beobachtung.
Is the noun form.
Exactly. And the head last rule applies here. Since
Beobachtung.
is a compound, its gender is feminine because the last noun is typically feminine. So we say,
Die Beobachtung.
Got it. Can you give me some real-life situations where
beobachten,
might be useful?
Sure. Imagine you are at a zoo. You could say,
Ich beobachte die Tiere.
which means I observe the animals. Another situation could be at work, where you might say,
Ich beobachte die Entwicklung des Projekts.
meaning I observe the development of the project. Lastly, if you're at a concert, you might say,
Ich beobachte die Band.
meaning I watch the band.
Okay, let me try.
ich beobachte die Tiere.
Perfect. Now, how about at work?
Ich beobachte die Arbeit.
Very close. You could say,
Ich beobachte die Fortschritte.
instead, meaning I observe the progress.
Thanks for the correction. What about the gender of
Beobachtung.
any hints to remember it?
Sure. The ending
ung,
is a common hint that many feminine nouns share that ending. You could visualize a woman with a magnifying glass, watching something closely, to link it to
Beobachtung.
That's a vivid image.
Now, let's discuss some usage notes.
Beobachten.
Is generally neutral and can be used in both formal and informal contexts. Typical collocations include phrases like
Genau beobachten.
meaning to observe closely,
Etwas genau beobachten.
meaning to watch something closely, and
Beobachten wie.
meaning to observe how.
Any commonly confused words?
Yes. Be careful not to confuse
Beobachten.
with,
Betrachten.
which means to consider or look at in a more reflective way.
I see. Can you give me some example sentences using
Beobachten.
Of course. Here are a few.
Ich habe die Wolken beobachtet.
Means I have observed the clouds. Then there's
Du beobachtest die Veränderung.
which means you are observing the change. And
Beobachtete die Fische im Aquarium.
means he observed the fish in the aquarium.
nice? I'm beginning to feel more comfortable.
I'm glad to hear that. Now, let's do a quick recall check. What does
Beobachten.
mean?
It means to observe or watch.
Great. Can you give me the present tense form for?
Ich.
Ich beobachte.
Correct. What about the past tense form?
Ich beobachtete.
Yes, that's right. Now, how do you say I have observed?
Ich habe beobachtet.
Perfect. What gender is?
Beobachtung.
It's feminine, right?
Exactly. And one last question, can you give me a sentence using
Beobachten.
Ich beobachte die Sonne.
excellent? That means I observe the sun. To summarize, today we learned about
Beobachten.
which means to observe. We discussed its grammar, history, and useful phrases. Keep practicing, and you'll use it fluently in no time.
Thanks, Alex. I feel like I really understand it now.